So today we're going to talk about anger and what is anger. Typically when we see anger, we experience that in traffic, we experience it in just those little things that we cannot control, right? When they get under our skin, when we start to feel that build within ourselves, and we just want to unleash something on somebody. It's very impulsive. So today, I want to just kind of discuss the three main reasons for anger. One of those reasons is something is unjust. Something was unjust done to us. So we start to build that anger a little higher. It could be that we're confused would be the second one. We have some confusion around something, whether it's somebody communicating something to us or whether it's just a situation that we just don't understand. And then lastly, it's sadness. Typically with anger, we hide a lot of our sadness and our pain within that because we don't really know how to express ourselves and what we're feeling. So we want to just encourage you to start communicating your emotions, not only with yourself, but with other people. And how do we do that? So one of the best ways to do this is to kind of reference an emotional wheel. We have one here at Mayfield. It's a great resource that we have to offer. And it starts us off with just a couple of general emotions. We have glad, we have mad, sad, disgusted, and scared. Those are some of the more typical common ones that we see. But when we start with mad, if we tell somebody I'm mad, it doesn't really give them a whole lot of context. Why is that? Well, I've only told them one word. And yes, words are powerful, and yes, words can communicate a lot. But if I only give one word, there's no context to what I'm actually feeling. I can say mad, and somebody could take that and have an assumption about that, or they can think that I'm saying something that I'm actually not trying to communicate. But if I take the emotions wheel and I start at mad, and I go to frustrated or just bitter, then I'm starting to kind of pave the path for them to follow. I'm starting to invite them into where I'm at currently. And I'm also inviting myself in because I need to know where I'm at. And if I take that frustrated and I go into irritated, well, now I'm getting a little bit deeper. I'm starting to dive a little deeper into what I'm actually trying to communicate. And then I go to agitated. Man, now we're at a whole nother level, right? So I've taken this person from mad to frustrated to irritated all the way to agitated. Now, if I was to do this exercise with you, I would ask you to scale each of those 1 to 10. Because sometimes they're all the same, but oftentimes they're a little different, right? I might be at like a 10 out of 10 with frustration, but maybe I'm only at a 5 out of 10 with irritation. And so we just want to scale those for ourselves and then ask ourselves, what is happening within my body? Right? Typically, when we get angry, we start to clench our fist a little, clench our jaw. We might even get a little red or hot in our body temperature. And we want to be able to begin to realize when this is happening in the body physically. Now, the reason for that is because if I can figure out what I'm feeling physically, this is my body cluing me into, hey, you're getting mad or you're getting angry and you're starting to feel that emotion. And some of us like to call it, we're just being passionate, but really we're starting to build towards this eruption that's going to happen if we don't get this under control. And so some of the ways to get that under control is to identify what we're feeling. And when we're able to do that, we're able to slow down and regain control in something that feels like chaos. And sometimes even just sitting in your car, if we're in traffic and we're starting to feel that build, we just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we remind ourselves that a lot of things that are happening is not under our control. There's nothing we can do to get that light to change faster. There's nothing we can do to get this person in front of us to push that gas pedal down a little bit more to please what our need is. And our need is to control. I need to be at this place at this specific time. And if I'm not there, then I'm going to be pretty upset. And I'm going to take that emotion with me into my house when I get home from work. And guess what? Now my spouse and my kids or anybody that my roommate is going to experience that emotion that they weren't even a part of. But if I can just take those few minutes to regulate myself, to get myself back under control, they don't have to experience that. I don't bring the damage into the household. I'm actually able to cope and breathe and just take a minute and identify things for myself. And other people get the benefit as well as myself. That's what's kind of cool about coping skills. So a lot of times we see anger and it's pitched in a negative light, but really it can be used for good things as well. It can be used to motivate us. It can be used to push us a little further than what we might normally do. Think about when you're in the gym and you're working out and something you begin to think about makes you angry and it just gives you those couple extra reps. Or think about when you see something on the news and it infuriates you and you just get in community and it actually pushes you to have conversations with people. And I'm not talking about getting behind your keyboard and typing out this whole thing on and arguing with people. I'm talking about engaging with people with a real conversation and getting out in the community and hearing other people's points of views and you giving yours. And these are just some practical things where anger actually is good and it's okay. And it can feel good too in our body when that's released in those types of ways in a healthy way. It begins to feel really good. So as I'm talking about anger and how we channel this, if this doesn't sound like it's okay to you, then I would ask you, do you even have control over your anger? Do you know what that looks like? A lot of times when we approach things like this, it can seem like a wild horse, right? Some people know how to tame these things. Other people, they're on it for the ride and they get thrown off a few times or they get dragged and they just give up. They're just out of it. But when we get on and we begin to tame this thing and we begin to learn and just engage with other people that have tamed it and we learn from other people and we get underneath that and then we get on top and then we ride the horse and we tame the horse, we become way more comfortable with anger. It seems like this not so dangerous thing anymore. It's more of a thrill and exciting because we've accomplished something and that feels great. So what I want you to do today is think about where does anger show up for you in your body, in your day-to-day life? What are the patterns that you notice within yourself? And can you identify, is this a healthy anger or is it something that's unhealthy? So these are just some of the simple things we can do with anger. Stay tuned with the collective to see more great videos on just various mental health topics and things that we can explore together.